In this section, we will come to understand the importance of cultural protocols and spirituality in the work of Uhau Humu Pohaku.
Sometimes I talk to the rocks. You pick them up and goes, oh, I wonder where you let go.
I always tell a Pohaku, that will put you in a better place. And the better place is a place of purpose.
It's a good feeling when you hear somebody talking to the rocks. It's got energy too.
The earth is alive. So when it comes to the rocks, they're alive too. I think everything in Hawaii is alive. Everything.
The Pohaku to me is not just a rock, it's almost like a soul, you know? Like a soul that, you know, just deserves its place in the wall.
I guess it demonstrates the humility of the mason to recognize that, you know, even though Pohakus are inanimate, that they have a soul, that they have a life force to them.
You know, you gotta respect the stones. If you're respecting the stones, you're respecting the kupuna. And please don't throw the rocks around, you know. Especially the ones that have been stacked by the kupunas. Don't throw them. You know, you pass them, you place it down. But I mean, if you go pick up rocks from in the field like that, new rocks, then you can either throw them in a pile or throw them in your truck like that. But once stones have been set, they should be respected because that's our link to the past. Somebody from the past when set that.
The sites themselves are the ones that they talk to you.
We want to get back to our cultural side. We learned the ancient ways, and some of us who had the privilege of setting ancient rocks that when Hilelei, from disuse, from trees, from humans, from animals, when you pick up that rock, for me, it transports me back to the past. It go wakahiko, because I have this feeling like, wow, my kupuna would pick up this rock before. Now I'm putting it back, so it hits me right there.
You know, you just don't go to a site and just fix it. You know, there's a whole process of getting permission, of making sure that when you gather stone, you ask permission to use them. And when you actually build a site, there's protocols to the actual building to make sure that that the walls will, you know, continue to stand and that the rocks are set tightly. If you're storing a site, especially one that had, you know, real heavy cultural, you know, function, then you have to make sure that if there are people buried there, that there's protocols to address that, and that if when your men come to these wahipana, to these ancestral sites, that they cleanse themselves first, and that when they're done working every day, they do the same thing, and that they call upon their kupuna to help inspire them and guide them.
It makes me feel better knowing that the kupuna or the ancestors that lived there before is probably watching down on us, you know, completing the project. Sometimes I feel them through, you know, the Pohaku, and, you know, I feel their energy, and it's just like, thank you guys for getting this done for us, you know what I mean? And I can feel they're helping us get the project done because they want it done as well, you know what I mean? Going on the wall, I'm not afraid at all. I know it's for a good cause. I know the kupuna wants to get it done. But yeah, it's very important to learn the protocols and all the chants that you can say every day, every morning before you start, and, you know, every evening when you end it, you know, it's all done correctly.
We use cultural protocols like people use life insurance. It's basically our insurance in protecting ourselves, protecting our families, and appeasing the gods when we work here.
The significance of the protocols are to protect us spiritually and instill pride and hard work.
Part of the reason we're here is to achieve and to constantly push the envelope of excellence and to constantly challenge ourselves to be better at what we're doing. And in order to do that, you have to be focused. When you're focused, the walls look focused, the platforms look focused. And so, it's trying to, return that sense of discipline, of mental, spiritual, and emotional discipline to the art of dry masonry. It's one thing to show up and do a ceremony and go home. It's one thing that when you're doing that ceremony, it's to prepare you to do work all day, and then to finish that work, with ceremony as well, and to do that every day that you're working. And what that has the effect of doing is really dialing you in to how to not just to do your work, but to raise the level of it to the high level that our ancestors not only did themselves, but expect of us, demand of us.
Whatever our protocols are is not the only way that's out there, but it works. It's our protocol. It works for us, and we try and make sure all our bases are covered.
Normally, before we begin our Hana Pohaku, any work with stone, all of the participants gather, and we go through a series of our pule, as a means to mark the beginning of the work, and then we also do it again at the end. We gather again when the work is over to do the same thing. To help us to focus, to help us to be serious about what we're doing, and to call upon our kupuna and our aumakua to guide, support, and inspire us while we're doing our work. We usually start with ehomai to begin the process of focusing on what we need to do, followed by na'aumakua, which is a pule to call upon our ancestors for inspiration. Pule ikaika, which is a prayer that we do for strength and for understanding. And then when we actually engage in our work, for gathering stone, appropriate mele would be pule noi. And then when we're building the pai, or restoring a heiau, then the actual building work, then the pule that we do is Mele Hana Pohaku. It's normally, in that order, although, at times there are additional prayers that are done to address any particular needs that arise in the course of our work. So the first pule is pule noi, and noi in Hawaiian means to request or to ask. And so this mele was composed for the purpose of requesting permission from the pohaku, from the stone, to be used in the wall.
E ka pohaku nui,
Ku anu anu ia,
e ka pohaku iki,
ku anu anu ia,
e ka pohaku loa,
ku anu anu ia,
e ka pohaku poko,
ku anu anu ia.
e kuua mai kou alo, e kuua mai kou kua, I mea aha I pā pohaku, aia ka ho'ohiki o ka leo, a he leo wale no ai.
The beginning of this mele involves addressing the different types of stone. E ka pohaku nui, the large stone, e ka pohaku iki, the small stone, e ka pohaku loa, the long stone, e ka pohaku poko, the short stone. And then it involves the request. E ku'ua mai ko alo, grant us your front side. E ku'ua mai ko kua, grant us your back side. Again, this is a noise, so it's you're just asking permission, and of course that means sometimes the permission won't be given or won't be granted. And normally, if you kind of get, the stone won't move, or if something happens while you're trying to take it and put it in your truck, normally that indicates the answer is no. And so for those stones, you say mahalo and you leave them. So that's the first pule that we teach, pule noi. The second pule has to do with the actual building, and it's called Mele Hana Pohaku. And this mele addresses the need for a high level of skill in setting the stone and in building the structure, and that the inside corners, maiau kuono, has to be tight, and that the outside corners have to be tight. If the corners aren't tight, then the platform, the wall, whatever the structures you're building is not going to stand. Well, they won't stand for long. Right.
Pa'ahoi pai 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 pohaku pa'amaiau kuono kupa kiki. Pa'ahoi pai 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 pohaku pa'amaiau kuono kupa kiki. Pa'ahoi pai 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 pohaku pa'amaiau kuono kupa kiki. Pa'ahoi pai 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 pohaku pa'amaiau kuono kupa kiki.
But it also involves the breathing of your ha, of your life breath into the structure and into the stone, and to also breathe in your hu, your inner energy and emotion into the structure, so that the stone structure is an amalgamation of the life breath and the emotional energy of all of the hands that built it. It also is to allow all the masons who worked together on this structure to come together and to leave a part of themselves, a part of their mana in the structure, and in so doing, give it life. And so those are the two mele that we teach. Again, our haku mele was Kekuhi Kanahele Frias, and she composed both of these mele in 1996. We, of course, use other pule that addresses preparation of the individual masons or people who are involved, and those are designed to help us to focus, to help us to be serious about what we're doing, and to call upon our kupuna and our aumakua to guide, support, and inspire us while we're doing our work.